did you know that we have protective parts of ourselves that will convince you to do things that will actually harm you? Now, this is something that I work with my clients around, observing the part of them that is drawn to situations, to people, or to ways of thinking to make sense of an experience and to behave in a certain way that ends up harming them. Now, examples of this is going back to relationships that hurt you, or staying in a relationship that no longer is serving you, or it's staying in a career that feels soul-sucking. It can also be taking things personally and blaming yourself for situations, or maybe it's blaming others and not taking any responsibility on. So these protective parts keep us in this cycle, cycle of unwanted outcomes. So it might be a cycle of anxiety, might be a cycle of depression, or it might be a cycle of loneliness. So what is super important to know is when they are activated. And I say they because often the protective parts of us have a dialogue. They'll talk to us in ways of, just go do that thing, you'll be fine, let's just go have fun. It will convince you to do the thing that you're working towards not doing. So if you're working on a new habit, you might be working towards a goal, maybe you're working towards a deeper, intimate relationship. There could be a part of you that constantly is talking you out of doing whatever you need to do to move forward in those spaces. Once you start to understand this protector, you can then also understand the part of you that's more authentic and that's more sort of kind of underneath the protector. So it's been there the whole time. You know it's been there the whole time. It's the creative part of you, the one that has these brilliant ideas. It's the one that's the one that wants to grow and evolve, the one that wants to leave that relationship or leave that career and step into something more healthier. That's the part of you that wants to grow. The protector will be the part that wants to stay in the familiar. So in order for us to understand which one is in charge, we need to start to self-reflect and observe our activations. So when the fear response comes in, the protector will be quite loud. When I'm in fight flight, my thought process will be very much connected to feeling fear in my body, the unease, the anger, the frustration, the resentment. Any of that comes in, my thinking will be blaming out. It will be quite frustrated, quite agitated, quite angry. It's not necessarily, the thinking is not necessarily accurate, but my feeling state is. So I'm in a fear response. When I'm procrastinating and in shutdown, or when I'm feeling quite sad and depressed or feeling shame, my thinking will align with that. I may ruminate at night about all the things I did wrong during the day. I may think about how terrible I look, how terrible I feel, how terrible I am. So I will blame myself and I will shame myself, and that is more in a shutdown. So in order for me to be able to move towards my goals, if I'm still identified with these parts, I will be behaving and making decisions from these places on a subconscious level without even realizing it. And the only way that you will realize is if you come and work with me in therapy, or if you're getting these unwanted outcomes. So your outcomes and your results in whatever it is that you're doing is constantly signaling to you, and it's signaling in the body as well. When we are out of alignment, your anxiety will be high, your depression will increase. So those sort of signals in the body will increase, and that will tell you that there is a misalignment in your life. And we have been taught from a very young age to ignore, suppress those misalignments because we've been taught to think more cognitive. Even in psychology today, psychiatry, it's more medication around our neurochemicals and being more cognitive. with psychotherapy, somatic therapy, it's more bottom up, whereas psychology, psychiatry is more, and seeing a doctor, it's more top down. So if I'm looking at my life more bottom up, what that actually means is I'm seeing and feeling and sensing what's happening in my body, and understanding that when I'm in a fear response, my thinking will be aligned to that, will be thinking from a place of fear. And I will know that if I identify with that and I only believe that to be my truth, then I will make decisions around that truth. If I start to create distance between that part of me and then who I feel is more confident, is more wanting growth, wanting evolution, what will start to happen is I'll make different decisions. In order for me to get to that place, I need to notice when I'm in a fear response, notice my thinking processes around that, and also decide whether I want to make these changes in my life, whether I want to really commit to a certain goal or experience that I want, and start to self-reflect and take radical self-responsibility.